Welcome to episode 3 of the Common Sense podcast. And first week without Sens hockey. Not the most exciting week, but we still have playoff hockey. How was your week, Max?
Yeah, no, for sure. It sucks a little bit to not be able to look forward to like going to the CTC or watching the Sens on TV with your friends or whatever. But yeah, there's still some good hockey on, and so there's still some stuff to keep me entertained. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a different feeling when you can't watch the Sens.
Exactly. I mean, the playoff hockey's been really good, and we'll get into that a little bit deeper later. Even the NBA too. I think there was like 3, 4 game sixes, couple of game sevens today, including the Raptors. So
Yeah.
watching that later. But there was one kind of big kind of not Sens news, but Sens thing this week, and that's just the player like exit interviews. And I thought it'd be good to go over some of those. So if you want, I'll start with Tom Shabbat. A couple key things he said was just a bit unlucky with all the injuries they got. He said that so everyone knows that he kind of went really fast to come back and wasn't healthy. He confirmed that with the media, said that he's going to be fully healed in 3 weeks. Mentioned that it's embarrassing to get swept, but he thinks good things will come out of it. He's very proud of the guys, and he had a really good line at the end saying that sometimes you have to get punched in the face, and that's exactly what they did. And he says they're going to come back even stronger. So anything stand out for you from Thomas Shabbat?
Yeah, like I think overall, like the exit interviews were pretty basic, right? Like you get the guys given their injury updates, which we already knew about Shabal. Like we knew he was really hurt. We knew his arm was basically broken, and he was playing with that. So super impressive stuff, but nothing that we didn't know. So yeah, no, it's good to get that out of the way. I guess like just get off all the injuries, and I do agree with him. Like we were super unlucky. I heard Matthew Kachuk talk about it on their podcast, saying like it's
Yeah,
basically impossible to win missing that many guys, especially key guys like your top pairing D's, plus
yeah,
Shabbat being not fully 100%, Clevin missing. Like, yeah, it's just playing with, I think the number was like 10 D's over the playoffs. It's just,
yeah. 10
it,
guys, 10 different D played in 4 games.
yeah, that's that. You can't win with that, especially as an 8 seed against a 1 seed. Like, I'm sorry, you just don't have a chance with that. So, yeah, it's too bad. But I do agree with him. It's a bit unlucky, but I think like a lot of the guys had the same sentiment. Like they think they'll be back stronger next year, and I I definitely agree with them on that.
Yeah, I'll add too. I really like his final line too of saying you got to get punched in the face because it's kind of like a cold. You have to keep getting a cold to get like the better immune system. You kind of have to, even if you, like people are gonna be like, oh well, such and such team had the same amount of playoff wins as you. It's like yeah, you're not wrong, but we still went in and got that experience, and we're gonna be better in the future with that experience. So I really liked how he said that, and I mean he's not wrong. Getting swept is very embarrassing, and it is almost like a punch in the face.
Yep.
Next was Tim Stützle. A couple key things from him was couldn't get it done scoring. He felt bad for other teammates, especially like the veterans in the on the team. He thought he wasn't able to get it done for the team. He thinks the team is very close to going on a deep run in the playoffs, and also mentioned some Brady stuff that he had to go through a lot this year, but he's taken a lot of big steps as a leader.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. He didn't do enough. Like he didn't when the puck was on his stick and he had the chance to bury it, he wasn't able to get it done. And that's what we pay him the big bucks for is to get it done in the playoffs, and he couldn't do it. Yeah, he wasn't bad. I wouldn't say by any stretch. Like, but at the end of the day, like if you're gonna cause an upset, you need your best players to be firing. And he had a few opportunities. You think back to that overtime double OT game, like he could have ended the game like 2 times. Like usually Timmy, you
Yeah,
take him to score that like 9 times out of 10. But unfortunately, this year was the one where no one was really finishing on their chances. So yeah, again, like it goes back to that a little bit of like unlucky, like the luck's not going our way. But I think, like I said last time, like big proponent in earning your luck. So you just gotta come back stronger, go back to the drawing board, figure out how you can be more effective in the playoffs, and come back again and again and again. Like I think a few of the guys mentioned it. Like the Hurricanes have been there like 8 times in a row and haven't gotten to the final, right?
yeah,
Like it takes time. These guys, like in Carolina, they've gone through it, the ups and downs, figuring out how to be effective. finally, I think this might be their year where they can get to the final. But yeah, it takes a lot of grind and a lot of rethinking of your game to make it to be a contender in the NHL. Like, it's a really tough league, and playoff hockey is some of the toughest things in all of sport to play in. So yeah, it's a learning curve for Timmy, but he's still young and he's still got a lot of years here. So I'm sure he'll be all right and he'll figure it out.
Yeah, 100%. Going back to like that goal you said that he scores 9 times out of 10, especially against the Hurricanes. It seems like Timmy loves to play against the Hurricanes. Obviously, we know his spectacular goal this year late in the season. He also had a really nice goal last year late in the season against the Hurricanes, and he just like he loves to score against the Hurricanes. And yeah, the comment about the Canes making 89 times, I should have that in for Thomas Chabot because Thomas Chabot actually said that he was talking with some of the Canes players after Game 4, and they were telling him how they've made it 8 years in a row, and after the first couple of times, your goal is to win the Stanley Cup. So technically, they failed for 6 straight years after
Yeah.
that. So yeah, that is a really good point. Going on now to Giroux. He said he was really proud of the team that they made the playoffs because the final 2 years, not 2 years, sorry, the final 2 months of the year they were playing playoff style hockey. And he says too fresh to think about it right now. It's going to take a couple weeks for him. And just obviously, there's some questions about his future because he's a free agent right now. And he says if he does play next year, because it's going to take him a couple weeks, a little bit of time to figure it out, his priority is to stay with the Sens.
Yeah, I think that's like the worst kept secret right now. Like, I think we all know that Giroux's got he's set up. He's got his family here. I can't see him really playing anywhere else but Ottawa. So yeah, I think if he does come back, I I don't know. I have like, I know he put up like 50 points. I'm sure we'll talk about it more in the off-season preview, but yeah, like Giroux, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know where he fits on this team, but yeah, we'll see what that looks like, but yeah, no, like another guy, he's been there, he's been around so long, he knows what it takes, and you know, he says it's good to make the playoffs because it is. Like, it's like you said, it's good to have that experience every year to get in there and build on what you did the last year. And if you take a step back then and not make the playoffs, then that's not ideal, right? So you just want to keep taking steps forward as a team. And I think they did that a little bit this year. Maybe in the playoffs they kind of took a step back, but I think they overall played better than they did last year. So yeah, no,
Yeah,
couldn't agree more.
yeah. I think a big part too about those final 2 months is all the adversity. Like the clip of
Yeah.
Travis Green saying, "The only thing that matters is what goes on in this locker room. Take it game by game." I think that's huge. Just going on Claude Giroux's like free agent stock. I'm gonna keep most of the stuff for when we actually talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a little deeper in the offseason preview. But yeah, I mean, I hope he's back, and I'm gonna have a couple good points to prove that later on. Now Artem Zub. Not too much from him, but he did talk about his injury for at the start, and he said it's gonna take him a full month to fully recover. So obviously, when he was a questionable for games 3 and 4, or no, he got hurt in game 1. Yeah, so he was questionable in games 2, 3, 4, like game time decision. Kind of knew right away that that was probably just to throw off the Canes because he wasn't even practicing or participating in any morning skate.
Yeah.
And he also is up for an extension on July 1st, so there's a couple questions regarding that. And he says that he wants to stay a Senator and hopes that those contract extensions start in the summer.
Yeah, it was a really weird one when he got hurt. Really unfortunate. Like, it goes back to that luck thing. Like, he just lays a good nice hit and he gets hurt from it. Like, I don't know. It was just, yeah, not our year, like we keep saying, but yeah, I mean, I think the Sens want to keep him too, so I think that's going to be not a super difficult discussion. Just, I saw some things floating around on Twitter, people saying like give him 7 times 7 and stuff like that. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, we cannot be giving. I think he's 30 now, or 29 or 30 years old. Like, we
Yeah,
can't
I'm
be
searching
giving
for.
a.
He's 30 years old.
Yeah, we can't be giving a 30-year-old more than like a, for me, like a 3 year deal. Like, that takes him to
Yeah.
33, and then like we saw what happened with Jensen. Like, you gotta be careful, especially a guy like that's a little bit smaller. Like, he's not a big physical defenseman. He relies on his skating. Like, you gotta be careful at this point in their career, giving them big long-term extensions. So, yeah, we'll see what it gets down to, but it's gonna be a nice watch to see what he gets this summer.
is 30 years old right now, but he will be 31 um, before he plays a game for the Sens next season, if that happens. Which I mean, I think we all know it will. But yeah, I definitely would not do 7 times 7. I mean, if you look at contracts for guys like him who kind of like a stay-at-home defenseman, which he actually had a really good year offensively, his best year
Yep.
offensively as Ottawa center. I think he was around 30 points. Let's see here. Yeah, 30 points on the dot, 5 goals, 25 assists, and he played 81 games. Honestly, I think the 81 games are better than the 30 points. I'll take, for a guy like him who's just all defense, I'll take availability over his offensive production. Now, he did get hurt in the playoffs, which is a bit unlucky, but still, I mean, 81 games during the season is really good for him. And yeah,
Yeah.
I hope he's back too. Again, we'll probably get into that later. Moving on to Allmark, he had one really big quote of playoffs were the first time he felt like himself, which I think we can all pretty clear to everyone. We all easily believe that because I mean he was. I would say he wasn't even in a good way. He wasn't himself in the playoffs. Like that was the best Allmark we've ever seen in a Senators jersey, and I would say even a Bruins jersey. He did win the Vezina with the Bruins. He didn't have like a 930 save percentage with them. Now I get it, short sample size, 4 games, but still, like that is insanely good, and he made a lot of grade A saves too. And not it wasn't just like a lot of shots from the point or the boards that just got saved. It was a lot of grade A chances, and he was the only reason he got swept in 4 games. But I think without Allmark, it would be way more embarrassing of a 4-0 sweep.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway from Allmark's interview was actually he talked about someone asked him about how does he like adjust his mindset or like prepare for games where he doesn't have like a lot of shots because of the way the Sens play and they try to not give up a ton of shots. Like you'll often get under 20 shots a game. And he really went deep into that and he was talking about like how it's more difficult for him when he doesn't get a lot of shots because he can't like he has to find ways to stay engaged and things like that. And for me, like I don't know, I didn't super like that. Like the reason the Sens play like that is because he wasn't good enough, so they had to suppress the shots. So like I don't know. You gotta. I'm not a goalie. I can't. I've never been a goalie, so like I can't speak on goaltending that well. But I don't know. Like to me, if you get only 12 shots, like shouldn't be that hard to face those 12 shots. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't love that what he was bringing up, but um, yeah, it's goes back to like the mentality thing for him. For me, I think that's his biggest weakness. It's just like his mentality and how he stays locked in for games. And yeah, I'm just that one was a little bit of a red flag for me.
I mean, I can see like your point and his point because too. I mean, as a goalie, and we know it firsthand from like Corpusalo, it was a lot of first shot, first goals. I feel like as a goaltender, you want to kind of see a couple shots before that first commercial break to get into the game, and then after that, I mean, I feel like goalies would love to face 12 shots, but at the same time, you kind of want to be in the game the whole entire time. If it's like 15 straight minutes without seeing a shot, and then that shot might like bounce a weird way or something, so I can definitely see where he's coming from. But I also can see what you're saying too. You also kind of want to keep the shots low, and just to kind of piggyback what I was talking about earlier, not Vez, Allmark's highest playoff save percentage before this year was 896. So went up .36 points, which is just insane. Like he was an animal this playoffs, and again, props to
Yeah, but
Allmark. He
you
was
have
easily
to
our best
ask
player.
you have to ask the question like is this the new standard or is this an exception to the rule? And to me like we've never seen it. We didn't see it all year. I don't know that this is the new standard. Yeah, I mean I would like it to keep him at a standard close to this, but based on the large sample size we got over the year, and I'll bring this back up again in the off-season outlook, but I don't think we can expect even close to this level of
Oh, definitely
production.
not. Definitely not.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
expecting it either. But even like, okay, I'm just gonna flip his stats back to regular season. Okay, so this year he ended with a 2.73 and an 891. Last year he was a 2.72. So he actually had the same. That's a crazy stat. Same. That shows the shot suppression. So he pretty much had the same goals against average this year and last year at the Sens, but his save percentage was different by .19 points. So that's a lot when you look at it when he's playing 44 games last year and 49 this year. But if he can just get back up to, like, if he can have a 9-10 save percentage with the shot suppression we have, he'll go, his goals, like per game goals against average will probably go down to like, I don't know the math on that, but like 2.3, maybe close to 2. But yeah, like
Yeah.
930, like I'm not trying to say 930 is the new standard. That's obviously not. That's insane. Like no one has 930
Yeah,
save
no,
percentage
for sure. But
anymore. But like
like,
yeah, 910. Like I think the average has gone down in the whole NHL. I think it might be like
oh
under
yeah,
900 or like
it's
right
like
around it.
890, 895, I think. Like I don't know
Yeah, like
that
it's
100%, but
crazy low.
it's something like 890 to 8 to 900. It's somewhere in that range, which is NHL average. But yeah, like I mean, if we can get something around that as like a team save percentage, like that's a big
Yeah,
asterisk too for me. Like team save percentage of around between 890 and like 905, I think we're good. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a couple takeaways for me. Like I think the big thing for Allmark is mentality and preparation, and preparation goes into how you feel in a game. And even if you face 10 or 30 shots, if your preparation is good, to me, you should be fine and not being like, oh, well, it's harder to face less shots. Like, it should be the same thing. You're just doing the same thing every day. So, yeah, I don't know. That was my takeaway from his interview, but he did talk well. He had some good moments talking about that sign that the fans had
yeah, that's
about the
true.
noise. So that was good. But, yeah, he just
Yeah,
seems in a better place, which is good. I'm happy for him
yeah,
on that side of it. But, yeah, there was a few red
and hopefully,
flags.
sorry, a little technical difficulty there, but we'll move on to Greg now. Not a lot from Greg. I mean, I think the only reason he had an interview at the end of the year is because of what he did to Sean Walker, and all he said was he has to be better at controlling his emotions, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. There was a couple short answers and like really short answers in there. A couple people asked him if he's reached out to Walker, and it was just like a no. Um, which I mean, it's tough to reach out to someone after he cross-checks you in the back straight into the boards, which it's still a nice thing to reach out, but who knows? He might have just had somebody on the ice to him after saying sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Who knows? But yeah, any takeaways from I should do a better job at controlling my emotions.
I mean, I don't think he actually meant any of that. I think he just had to say it, but I think he like fully did not care. Like he fully meant what he did, and he's like, yeah. And you know what? I like it. I don't care. Like it was it dirty? Yeah, it was disgustingly dirty, but it's playoff hockey. There's dirty stuff going on left and right. People are getting sucker punched all the time in like a scrum. This one was just obvious and like on camera, but yeah, I don't care. It was we know Greg walks the line, and that was he was leaning on the wrong side of the line there, but I saw Sean Avery say that he had no problem with it, and you know what? If he says it, then that's fine with me. So yeah, I,
Yeah,
I want Greg to keep doing stuff like that, especially in playoffs. Like you want to be a rat, get under the skin, and that's just part of the territory.
definitely. But I mean, if you also like want stuff, you want like a rat, and you want him to do stuff like that. But at the same time, like if the ref saw that, that's a major penalty. Like and you can't take, especially in the playoffs. Like the PK was good. You can't take. Depends when like you could be up by
Again,
3 with like a couple minutes left, but
you
he's
said
also about to get
if the ref
suspended.
sees it. You didn't
Yeah, but
see it though.
he's also going to get suspended for it now. So like let's say the
Yeah,
Sens won some games, he would get suspended for a couple games in the
I
playoffs.
don't think so. I don't think he would have got suspended in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think if the Sens were alive, I don't think he would have got suspended. I don't know. Maybe,
I
but
guess yeah.
it
Also talking
happens
about dirty.
way more than you think.
Yeah, that's true. Also talking about dirty plays, did you see the Buffalo Sabres Zach Benson Charlie McAvoy incident?
Oh, yeah.
That was dirty.
That was dirty. Yeah. And the Jamie Benn
That was
one
bad.
too. There's a lot of dirty
Yeah,
going around. Like
there
I
is.
don't mind it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, I was also watching like Flyers Penguins game 6, and there was like this scrum in like a corner, and one Penguins guy like, just just absolutely speared the shit out of Porter Martone, and that was and went uncalled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Now after Greg, we have Staos. A couple of things he said. Obviously, Staos is going to be a bit of a longer interview, but he says there's lots of stuff to be proud of the team this year. Obviously, all the adversity. That's a lot. That's a thing. Quite a bit of players talked about. He's also wasn't satisfied with just making the playoffs. He's already in win the cup mode, which is a good thing. He made a joke of it'd be nice to have a pure goal scorer on the team, with a lot of people just on social media and asking him about a pure goal scorer and people wanting a pure goal scorer. Shuts down all the Brady rumors as he should have done. That was amazing, and just gonna take time on unrestricted free agent decisions and what he wants to do next with the team.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary from Steve. Like not we said what we want to hear, right? He's not satisfied to win the cup, this, that, the other. 32 teams in the NHL want a scoring winger. So, like, yeah, he's going to say, yeah, it'd be nice, but every other team in the league wants one too. So it's like, it's not that easy. All the armchair GMs on Twitter love to make up all these mock trades for all these players that we might talk about later, but it's just not that easy. It's not NHL franchise mode, right? And yeah,
Yeah,
he just, to be honest, he just did exactly what he had to do. Shut down the Brady rumors. Not don't go too deep. Don't show your cards as, in terms of what you want to do with the off season, and just say that, you know, there's this proud of their group and this and that. And we knew pretty
yeah,
much what he was gonna say. So nothing crazy from
exactly.
Staos. Yeah.
And at the same time as Deos, Green was also beside him, but there wasn't a lot from Green. But there was one thing that I liked a lot from Green, and he said that because obviously there was a lot of Brady questions to Green as well. And one thing he says was, "We lose the sight of the player he is." Mentioned how Brady was pretty much a point per game player all year, and he said that he hasn't seen a lot of that, and no questions asked him about how good he was this season because he was a good player. Now there was some
Yeah.
times where he wasn't as physical as people wanted, but yeah, if you look at his stats on paper, he's pretty much a point per game player. And over a course of a full season, if he's around 78 points, that's probably really good for a guy like him.
Yeah. It's just the intangibles, right? We expect from him, right? The marginal stuff, the physicality, the dragging your team into it, the emotions that I didn't think we saw enough of. And it is what it is. But he's obviously going to defend his captain, and he's right. He did have a good year on paper with points, but we all know that Brady Kachuk is not just about what's on paper, right? There's a lot more that
Yeah,
comes with him. So yeah, we're gonna have to see a little bit more of that next year.
yeah. And then Brady wasn't. So I think the player exit interviews were Monday. Brady did his Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. And the reason for that is because he had his second kid. So congrats to Brady for
Yep.
that. But a couple of things he said was, again, he shut down all the rumors for him, saying that none of the stuff's ever come from his mouth anyone's or anyone within the team. Just a lot of rumors surrounding it. Said he's going to learn a lot about the series. Thinks that the team has taken some good steps. A lot, and mentioned how the team has a lot of great players. Mentions personally for him, there's a lot of highs and lows this year. Winning a gold medal, getting injured at the start of the year. And he a couple good things at the end of his media availability. He says that he's fully committed to this team, and he's been fully committed to this team in city since he's been here. And one really good thing too is at the end of his media availability, he went out of his way to thank the fans, and that's really good. I mean, you can't really ask more for a captain. Just a pure captain move, great move on his part. Without anyone asking him any questions with the fans, he goes out and thanks them himself.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say one thing about this Brady thing. He talked amazingly. He said lots of great things. I'm happy for him that he did that. Here's my problem. So Twitter, I think we can all agree, is not a place filled with fans of teams. Okay, it's a place with people that pretend or like to say that they're fans, but they just go on there to say stuff, ridiculous stuff, try to get clicks, go with what's popular, create narratives, all this stuff, right? It's just a terrible, shitty place, and it's entertaining at times, but there's a lot of BS that fans that actually pay their money to go watch games don't care about, aren't saying, and aren't bringing into the rink. I think we can all agree. You're a season ticket holder. I've been to a bunch of games. I was at all the playoff games. there's maybe a handful of people in that building that don't like Brady Tkachuk or think he should leave. Agreed?
100%. I've always thought that the people from all the talk on Twitter is way different from what
Yeah.
he gets in the arena.
So my follow up to that is it is the responsibility of the media to not bring that into the media room. Because the people on Twitter or us or whoever don't have the power to bring that to Brady's ears. He said he does not on Twitter, right? And he doesn't read the comments on his podcast. So where is he getting this noise from? It's from the media room or the in the room after the games because the people in the media are asking him questions about it. If we just didn't ask him those questions that are based on baseless rumors or mock trades from random people that don't know what they're talking about, then he wouldn't be frustrated with that. It wouldn't go into him and he wouldn't have to deal with it, and then he'd probably be way happier to commit his long-term future here. So to me, this is a call out for me to all the people in the media room to stop bringing up this stuff unless it's absolutely important that it's brought up and it's something really about him that is actually real and that happened. Don't bring it up. Don't bring it to the room. Don't ask him about it. That way, he's not going to be frustrated by all these rumors, and you won't have to say, I'm frustrated by all this stuff, because I agree with him. It would be frustrating when you're trying your best and you're working hard, and then it's just constantly being asked questions about stuff that you can't even control. Like his dad on the podcast. He's doing a podcast. Good for him. Lots of people do podcasts. We don't have to ask him about every little thing that's said on his podcast when it's not even him that's talking about it. So that's kind of my little rant here. I'm asking the media people to stop asking him these questions about leaving and all this when there's nothing to base it off.
I see what you're saying, but I mean, just to play devil's advocate a little bit, I think like these people have jobs too, right? They need to get paid, and
100%.
when the biggest thing about the Sens all season is Brady Kachuk, Brady Kachuk, Brady Kachuk, they need to go out there and they want to write an article, and articles like that are going to get the most clicks and stuff.
Yeah, it's a clicks world that we live in, unfortunately, and that's the part that's shitty about it, but no one else controls those narratives except for the media. So at the end of the day, like other markets that aren't Canadian markets probably wouldn't ask those questions. They don't care. And I get it. It's different in Canada. But if we want to keep these good players and these high profile players, we have to treat them better and not ask them. If there's something, like I said, if there's something that's substantial that was said by him or, the USA thing, let's take that for example, right? That, I get it. That had to be asked, right? He was there. He was in
Yeah.
the room for all that. It's controversial. It has to be talked about. I get it. But the stuff like the stuff that has no basis, like the trade rumors and all this stuff, like he says, he's never said nothing's ever come out of his mouth saying that he wants to leave or anything like that. So why are we asking him about it, right? So that's just my thing, and I agree with you. They have to. It's a clicks world. They have to get their clicks, but just find a better way to do it, or I don't know. Work harder to create good stories. I don't know, whatever it is, but we gotta stop doing this and bringing it to the room.
Yeah, I also think it's a good time too for Brady to shut down all the rumors too. And at the same time, it's not like it's just like kind of accounts with like 100 followers, 200 followers, 300 followers, 30 followers. It's like David Pagnotta is talking about it. Spitting Chicklets is talking about it. It's like
Oh
it's
yeah,
like it's a lot of big things. So when it's out in the media that big, I think it's fair for the media to ask questions about it. I still see what you're saying. I think it gets to a point where there is a lot, and I think it's more of how many times it happens, either than like
yeah,
it's almost
sure.
like every single like big media availability, it has to be about Brady. Like I feel like if it's like every once in a while just to clear stuff up, which Brady, to be fair, just like he says, he does always clear it up, and nothing's ever come from the team or anything. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I also see the media side because again, like just as I said, like that's their job. They need to make money. They need people to read their stuff. So it's a tough world because nothing ever is going to be perfect. So you kind of have to
Yeah,
live with it and pick and choose what you want. Like pick and choose anything, honestly.
yeah.
Player exit interviews. Is there anything else you want to add on that I didn't mention you want to talk about?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Like, not any crazy takeaways, just pretty much everyone giving the vanilla answers. So, like every year, it's pretty much the same. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's really just honestly like the biggest thing I just look for in the interviews is just figuring out injuries. Honestly, there's some other good quotes in there too. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of it's just like the Bruins the other day when Zadorov said was it, yeah, it was Zadorov. He was like, yeah, I played like something was torn for like
Yeah,
two
his
games he played
MCL
with.
torn off the
Yeah,
bone.
exactly.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a hockey player, but then NBA players like his middle toe might be sprained and he can't play a game seven. To early off-season thoughts, we won't dive too much into these topics that we have. Just again, these are just early off-season thoughts, kind of the first things off the head. Didn't do too much research for these, but we'll start with one thing we kind of already mentioned, Giroux. Any quick thoughts you have on Claude Giroux and if you want him back on the team next year?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it quick. I'm sure we'll talk about it more. I don't think Claude Giroux can be a top six player on this team, and I don't think he fits what we need in the bottom six. So that's where I don't know where he fits in this lineup. Um, so it'll be interesting to see. Like if he comes back, it'll be a similar contract, like $1 million and a bunch
Yeah,
of
definitely. The
bonuses.
contract's not the hard part, honestly.
Yeah, that's gonna be easy. I just don't know what the fit is for him. I know he scored 50 points, but if we have Claude Giroux playing top six for more than 60, 50 games next year, like, I don't know that we're taking a step forward. And he's only going to regress more. Like, that's just life. So that's my only question mark on him is what is the fit?
See, to be honest, I feel like I hard disagree with that. I think he does have a. I feel like he would definitely have a role on the third line. We saw him play there a couple games in the postseason, but I do agree with your top six thing. I feel like Giroux is a guy who can play really good bottom 6 minutes for you, and if you need a guy to play top 6 minutes, he definitely can. And if you also bring in his face-offs, I
Oh,
think his
yeah.
points wise, I think 50 points is obviously really good. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's kind of like maybe third or fourth on the totem pole for Giroux. I think the biggest thing is what he does behind the scenes. Whenever you see like player interviews of like who do you chirp the most, who's like the most grumpiest, it's like Giroux, Giroux, Giroux. Now, like it does like get to a point where like this guy's been on the team for a long time. Yeah, he's been in the league for a long time. Team for a long time. What else can he bring? I think it's just what he does every single day. Like I think it's just him being there. I think he helps the team a lot. Um, has the most experience on the team, pretty much. I think he does a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we don't take for granted, and obviously the 50 points, the face-offs. I think he fit perfect on the third line, and if we need him to move up, I think he can definitely do that.
Okay. Yeah, like, so here's my thing, right? So let's say we trade for a top six forward, right? So that bumps down someone. So that's Giroux, maybe, down, let's say. Or it could be Greg, or whatever. Like, I don't know exactly how they line it up. In theory, you want Zetterlund to be a top six, top nine forward. Like, you can't have that guy playing on your fourth line. That's not. First of all, it's not his role. Second of all, it's like he's getting paid too much to play on the fourth line. So, like, third line for me is Amadio Pinto, guaranteed, right? And then
Yeah.
one for me, it'd be one of Greg or Fogel, because again, Fogel is not a fourth liner to me either,
Yeah, no,
right?
he's
So
definitely on the fourth line.
so it's like and then if you put Drew on the fourth line, like to me, we need more size on that fourth line. I think that was a big thing that we were missing this year or in the playoffs. Is like we didn't have Fogel was a little bit, but I didn't see him really being physical. Like we just need bruisers on that fourth line that can
Yeah.
play hockey, but that can just crash and bang and create havoc for 10 minutes a night and some good face-off guys. And again, Giroux doesn't really fit that. So is he going to be happy to return in a role where he's maybe the 13th forward? I don't know. Like that's going to be a question for him to answer. I don't even know if that's something the Sens will say. Like I'm just spitballing, giving my like thoughts, but
Yeah.
like
I
I
definitely see
see
what
your
you're
point.
saying.
I see the value off the ice especially, and so you can keep him as an extra and whatever. But for this team to take a step forward, we need more in the top six, so that bumps him down. I don't he can be on the third line. I like other guys better in that spot. And then fourth line, I don't like him there at all. So it's just, yeah, I don't see the fit.
Yeah, I definitely. Again, no, I feel like we've already spent too much time on just one guy, but you definitely swayed me a little bit. Um, Greg, I will be honest, I like Greg on the second line. I think he plays really good with Cousins. But Fogle, when you brought up Fogle, that definitely made me think because again, just like you said, could bring in a top six forward, or you could get someone else to replace. Like I was talking to my dad, you could get someone to replace Brady on the second line, and then you just stack up the first line, go Brady, Batherson, Stützle, but you're still kind of bumping someone out of the top six. So
Yep.
definitely more to think about. So what we can kind of tie that in with another kind of like middle six four that we want to talk about, Fabian Zetterlund. Anything you want to talk? Any thoughts on him?
Well, I just gave a little bit of my thoughts. Like, I think he needs to be at very least, middle six forward. He's got some scoring ability. We know that. But as a fourth liner, he's just not. He's not a fourth line player. If you're gonna play him on the fourth line, you gotta find a way to to trade him because he's getting paid way too much. He's not a fourth line player. That's not his style. So if you're gonna play him on the fourth line, you gotta move him. But I like a lot of the things that he does bring: the speed, the scoring ability. He's not the most physical, but he's a strong player. He needs to take steps in his game. Like he needs to make better plays, make better decisions with the puck, win more puck battles. But I like the player, but again, it's like a fit thing. If you bring someone in, what do you do with him, right? It's again, we come back to that. Like I think Fogle is a guy who can play up and down the lineup. I don't have a problem with him. Zetterlund, I don't think he can play up and down. Like I think he's a top
Yeah,
six, top nine forward, and so I don't know where he fits. If he takes a step forward, then he can be a top six player, I think. But it depends again on what the Sens do, and I don't know if anyone's really taking that contract right now, like with giving something back. So yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I feel like him and Fogel are kind of in the same boat right now, and both guys who are playing fourth line minutes and both need to be playing higher in the lineup. Which I think is fair for one of them to be doing that, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't see a fit for Zetterlund, and if I had to put money on it right now, I think he starts next season on a different team. I hate to say that because I love trading for him. He just didn't fit our team, and sometimes that happens. Like he was playing fourth line, he got some chances with the top line this year. Didn't really work out too much for him. Obviously, he didn't stay up there. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be tough to keep him around, especially since we trade for Fogel. That when we first traded for Fogel, that's the first thing I thought about. I'm like, okay, maybe we're trading Zetterlund now because they're both kind of like in the same boat. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Jordan Spence, thoughts on him? You want him back? What do you think? Rough contract could look like.
yeah, I do want him back. I think we're probably heading towards an arbitration with him.
I've seen some people talk about that.
I don't think they'll give him a long term deal. Like, because this is the first year we've seen him actually do
Yeah,
good. So they're gonna be like, okay, you gotta prove it again. And I didn't love him in the playoffs, to be honest. Like I thought he was getting knocked off the puck a lot. He wasn't being as good as he was in the season for me. And that comes with the territory of having an undersized defenseman. Like I loved his game all year, and he stepped up when other guys went down. But when things got tight and things got physical in the playoffs, I didn't see him being as impactful as he was. And I think, here's my hot take of the day, we can't go into next season with Shabbat Spence as a pairing. No chance. They can't play together. They're too similar in terms of like puck moving, not physical, not amazing defensively. They're just too similar. So one of those two has to go, or you play Spence on the third pairing. But do you want Spence on your third pairing? And depends how much you're paying him. Like if you're paying him upwards of 4 million plus, which I think is probably what he's looking at. Do you want that on your fourth pair? Like I don't know that you want that. Like you want to spend that money elsewhere. So yeah, I don't know. It's another fit question. Like, what do you do with Shabbat? I imagine he stays because of all the off ice stuff and how much of a
Yeah,
leader he
Shabbat's definitely
is.
staying.
Um, but yeah, again, like I don't. It's a fit thing for me. Can he play with Sanderson? We haven't seen it. Maybe he can, but again, yeah, it's a big time fit thing, and I think to take a step forward, I think we need more size. The more size, the better on the back end, and like yeah. So I have no idea what's gonna happen with Spence. I would think he's gonna get a 1 year arbitration contract, and then they'll reevaluate next year. But yeah, we'll see.
Uh, Here it is right here. 3 years. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Carolina decor and how much money they make because they're really deep and yeah, like shit. Like their third pair is 3 mil, and Nikishin's still on a rookie contract, so that kind of just equals out to nothing. But it's because he's on a rookie contract. Yeah, I mean Jordan Spence. I feel like you have to have him back. Now, is it the? I think the first person kind of mentioned the ARB thing was Mike Johnson on TSN 1200, which definitely kind of got me thinking a little bit. It could be ARB, or I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of too players really don't like ARB, so it could just flat out sign a 1 year deal for not too much. Maybe kind of like a bridge deal, like a 2 year deal, maybe like a 2 times 2, 2 times 3, something like that. And then you could play him on the fourth, or then you can play him on the third line. And it wouldn't be two bags how much money he makes. But sometimes you just have to eat the money and just play him on the fourth line, because him and or not fourth line, third pairing, him and Clevin were good together.
Yep.
Shabbat and Spence were good together too, but at the same time,
I don't know if they were
Shabbat
good
like
together. Like they were pretty much on for every goal against in the playoffs.
Shabbat and Spence.
Yeah, close to
Just saw
every goal
Spence was a
against.
-3. So maybe every 5-on-5 goal against. But at the same time, like you don't know how it changes if Shabbat's fully healthy and he can fully move the puck like
Yeah.
Spence. Maybe Spence doesn't get caught too many times with the puck. So
Here's the thing. I
yeah,
think in the regular season it can work. Playoffs, I don't think so.
playoffs is different. Especially we also played like one of the biggest teams, like
Every
Carolina's
team's like
fourth
that now.
line. Yeah,
So
I guess. To backup goalie, do you think the team should spend maybe a little bit more money on the backup goalie? Any guys you've already thought about?
yeah, this is a humongous position of need for me. Last season, Staos admitted that it was an oversight from him to trust Marilainen and not bring someone else in. You have to bring in a goalie that can play upwards of 30 games next year, probably more than that. Ullmark has never proven that he can be a 60-game goalie, barely scratches 50-game goalie. So we have to almost do a 1A, 1B, and that's tough because kind of rule of thumb is you don't want to spend more than 10 million on your goalies. Now the cap's going up, so maybe that number can go up and we can spend, maybe 11, 12 because we have some good
Yeah.
contracts for skaters, so we can maybe spend, 12 million on goalies so you can get another $4 million goalie and then have a 1A, 1B kind of situation. I think that has to happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's either one or two. I think backup goalie is going to be big this offseason. I think a big thing too is just like you said, like you got to go out there and you have to get someone, but at the same time you can't spend too much money because the $10 million thing. And I also agree with. I think it's going to go up because the cap's going up too. Like if you just look at the team like the Penguins, they go out and they shine Sheloff, and he's one of their best goalies all year, and that's just from like the Penguins scouting and seeing that they can probably turn him into a good goaltender. I think the Sens, it helped to do something like that, so you can save a little bit of money there, especially because the Sens are a team that most likely won't spend all the way to the cap. So something like that would definitely help out.
Yeah, there's going to be a big emphasis on pro scouting and goalie coaches to bring someone in that has a lot of the tools, hasn't figured it out, put them in the system where they don't get a lot of shots, work with them, and then hopefully find some magic. Just look at Colorado with like Wedgwood and Blackwood and all these teams that find these goalies out of nowhere and they become unreal. So, yeah, that's going to be a big part of the summer.
Going on to kind of carrying on from pro scouting. Now, obviously, I'm not a huge draft person, but I'll probably get into a little bit more because of this podcast. I don't know about you too, if you like the draft or not. But any early thoughts on the draft? Hoping if they draft such and such position, or I don't know, just any thoughts you have on the Sens drafting 32nd overall?
Yeah, we'll probably do a draft preview episode at some point before the draft comes around. But we know we're
Yeah,
drafting 32nd. For me, at that point, you're not drafting for position, you're drafting the best available player. Especially with the way that our farm system isn't the strongest. Take whatever you think is the top player available on your board and figure out the rest after. Like, we're not picking a right shot D because we need right. No. We're picking the best player possible because most likely, if he becomes decent, you can trade him, right? Because we're going to be in a win now mode. We're not going to
yeah,
be
I agree.
looking for. So you take best player available and you hope they develop and then you trade that player. So yeah, that's what the Sens need to do. And we'll talk about more and we'll probably. I'll be watching some video over the next few weeks on some of the available guys that are probably going to be available at that spot. And then I'll bring my thoughts on who I think should be the Sens should target. But the draft is always, you never know. So it's so hard to
Yeah.
predict, especially at the back end of the first round. So yeah, we'll see what happens a little bit later in the summer for that.
I agree. I mean, it's very easy to say, like, oh, Sens don't have a lot of, like, wingers coming up or forwards, which is fair to say because, like, two of our top prospects right now are defensemen. But at the same time, just like you said, you get best available because who knows, you might end up trading the person. I will say, though, if they're, like, 50-50 on, like, kind of like a forward or a D, I'd probably lean forward just because, again, we are kind of shallow there. But, again, the more D, the better. Um, Anything. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time because I agree. I think you just go best player available because most likely, especially since the Sens are going to be hopefully contending for the next 3-4 years, you're most likely going to end up trading someone like that. And last thing before we say our top need for the offseason is score. Lots of talk about a top six scorer, someone that plays with Timmy. So what do you think that should be the top priority? Actually, I guess we can kind of mix it too. A lot of people think Sens top priority should be score, should be this. Do you agree? And just your thoughts on the Sens needing a score.
Like, I think their top need is probably a scorer, but I think that's pretty tough to come by. Um,
Yeah.
I think the Suns will be looking for a high upside type of player. I don't think we're going to be going in for someone that is established as a scorer. I think we'll be looking at things, intangibles, advanced analytics, and all this stuff that they talk about all the time, and targeting someone that has room to grow in that department. Just look at like a Morgan Geeky on Boston, right? Like,
Yeah.
came from nowhere and then scored a ton of goals. So they're probably going to be looking at something like that, using their scouting department, using their analytics department to find someone that has a potential to that hasn't really had that opportunity to kind of grow into a true top six forward.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. I also think that they ran the line of Brady, Batherson, and Stützle a couple times in the playoffs, so it could be something too where you don't go because finding someone for Timmy, like it's going to be hard to do. And we've seen Timmy and Batherson have a lot of chemistry. Timmy and Brady have a lot of chemistry, so it could be something too where you kind of find someone to replace Brady on that second line, so then you can move him up to the top line. But I mean, that was a very good shout about Morgan Geeky. Like right now, so he got drafted by Carolina. Played 2 seasons there, had 6 goals in 38 games. Then Seattle took him in the expansion draft. In about like 150 games with them, he had 16 goals. And then his first full season with Boston, 17 goals, and then bam, 33-39. Like incredible stuff from Morgan Geeky. And yeah, I think this is going to be a big off season for scouting because there's lots of people on social media talking about the Sens scouting lately on draft picks, which I think it's a little bit unfair because we don't really like. If you look at Yakimchuk's AHL stats, especially plus minus, not the best. Sensler, there was like an article after the World Juniors that he wasn't too good and he's not developing great. Which again, it's fair to say now, but it's still like we just drafted him and
Yeah,
still he hasn't even been in our system yet. We haven't even been able to develop him, so I think it's gonna be a big year trying to find some diamonds in the rough, especially a team like Ottawa. I think you kind of have to do that. And I remember when Florida first won the cup, like they have a lot of guys on their team like that, like Brandon Montour. They got off waivers, and that was
yeah.
like their top defenseman for their first cup. So lots of stuff like that. You kind of have to find guys and turn them into superstars.
Yeah, like we saw the Sens use 12 defensemen and make the playoffs. So it's not like we need to get a $10 million defenseman to make this team a contender. We have
Yeah.
a lot of guys that showed well this year. I don't think any of those guys. I'm talking on the D side here because I know right D is a bit of a question mark. I liked a lot of the things I saw from Lassie Thompson. I liked a lot of the things I saw from Yakimchuk. I already like a lot of the things that Matt and Palo can bring. I don't know that we're necessarily going to be targeting that. Like, everyone's going to be saying, like, oh, Darren Radish, he had like 75 points. Dude, that guy's going to get paid like $12 million on some ridiculous contract, and he's probably never going to live up to it again. Like, he just had an insane year. He was playing on the power play and all this for a really good power play team. So, like, yeah, again, like you said, and I might, like I was talking about the draft, I'll try to find a few guys that the Sens could target in free agency or trade that would be like under the
Yeah,
radar
definitely.
guys when we do one of our episodes where we talk about needs and stuff and off-season acquisitions. And I'll try to pinpoint a few guys that could be a target for the Sens that have that high upside.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's you kind of have to find guys and develop them yourself. Especially like the Sens who won't spend to the cap most likely unless they really have to. Or again, not even free agents. Haven't even mentioned trades yet. You could go out and trade for someone you like. Obviously, a lot to talk about Jordan Kyrou. Blues keep talking about trading him, so you could go out and test a guy like him. But the thing is, actually, test is the wrong word because you wouldn't be testing him out. He already has a big long contract, $8 million. I don't think he's going to be a center. I don't really think the Sens would want to take a risk on him.
Nope.
Because I mean, also if you look at the scoring this year, Sens finished the year ninth in scoring. Like, I will agree there was some times where scoring let us down, but overall in the year, the Sens were top third in the league in scoring. So at the same time, when you want that top six scorer, someone to play with Timmy, um, they were our top scoring team. So again, I think it just comes down to power play, man. Like if the power play is scoring in the postseason, then everything is different. Which that's sports. Everything is different because of a couple games. So we'll see what happens.
Yep. And I think, like, just to put a bow on the top needs, like, for me, number one, 1B goalie. Number two is a forward that has upside for scoring. And then number three would be a D, another D. But I don't think that's. Actually, no. I think number three for me would be a big fourth line physical player. And then four would be another D, another right shot D.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get that into it again. Like you said, we're new to free agents episode because the Sens have a lot of D right now, so they could be in a position where they have to trade some, especially if you want to add another one. But I think my top need would be um, probably have to go because we still made the playoffs with the backup goalie. I think especially go further in the playoffs. I think I'm gonna go forward. I think kind of like that the middle to top six forward that could have a lot of upside, kind of like a project forward. I think would be my top thing.
Yep. Agree.
But that was the end of like our early off-season thoughts. Again, anything else you want to mention
No, I'm
that we
sure we'll
didn't
dive
that we
more
didn't
into
touch?
it as the
Yeah,
summer goes along. Yep.
definitely. Okay, well let's again we'll just like our first episode, we'll with the first round ending, we'll go over what we got right and wrong, and we'll go over the second round. So we'll start in the West. Colorado and LA both picked the Avs, both right. The only other series that was a sweep. You got any thoughts on that? Were you watching any of the games?
Yeah, not really. I mean, the Kings stumbled into the playoffs. They never really looked like they were trying to win. To me, like, they were just trying not to lose, and Colorado's way too good for that. So, yeah, I think that one was more embarrassing than us, to me.
I don't know if it was. I feel like they were both. I don't know. Like Kings were really good to get in there, but for a team like Ottawa, that I think a lot of people took Ottawa to win. There was way more people taking Ottawa to win this year than LA. Like everyone kind of had LA sweeping, so I think you kind of have to think about that too.
Yeah, if you look at the
So
expectation, then yeah, it's worse for us.
yeah,
But look at the performance, it was way worse for them.
performance, yeah, but there was also a lot of close games. I see what you're saying, but I feel like it was a little bit more close. and then Minnesota and Dallas. So there's two series that me and you disagreed on, and this is one of them. I had Minnesota and you had Dallas. That series was fun to watch. There was a
Yeah.
couple boring games early on, but I think what won Minnesota that series is 5-5, and just like their depth, like there was like Michael McCarron, trade deadline acquisition had 3 goals from three or maybe it was two. It was 2 or 3 goals that series for the Minnesota. Like Minnesota's depth was way better than Dallas's depth that series.
Yeah, like my biggest takeaway was the goaltending. Like Wallstedt steps in there and just was really solid for Minnesota. And then Onger, like he was good, but he didn't steal them a game. And I feel like we keep talking about that with him. Like he sometimes you just gotta be insane to carry your
Yeah.
team when your team's not buzzing. And yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that. Now Dallas, like they have some good young players, but their top players are getting older. They're creeping
Yeah.
towards 30. That window is starting to close pretty fast. Like they still have guys like Wyatt Johnson and like Thomas Harley that are still young, and Ottinger obviously, but their top guys like Hintz and Heiskanen, Rantanen, like all these guys are edging towards over 30 or already over 30. So
Yeah.
yeah, they got to be careful and really think hard about how they're gonna reset and go back again next year.
I think it's gonna be a very interesting offseason for Dallas. I mean, you have to sign Jason Robertson, and you also have Maverick Bork, and all this, and all they have is 12 million in cap space. So it might be another offseason where they trade a guy that has a little too much money and to be able to sign. Because I mean, Robertson was their best player, one of their best players all year, and their best player in the playoffs. Like
Yeah,
there's no way they get rid of him.
no,
But I feel like they might have one of the more interesting off seasons than other teams this year. Now, this is probably the series that me and you both did the worst on, either this one or I guess the Penguins one too, but Edmonton Anaheim. We both had Edmonton. I think I said 5 games. I think you said 6, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so both way wrong on that. Props to Anaheim, but I mean to be fair, Edmonton both their guys were injured. Tough to win a series when both your guys are injured, but at the same time, I will say Anaheim dominated that series.
yeah. Like yes, McDavid and Drysdale were not 100%. I don't care. That was brutal from Edmonton all around.
Yeah.
Goaltending, defense. Yeah, it's same thing, same questions I was asking with Dallas, and everyone's asking those questions right now about Edmonton. Like, how long is their window? I think as long as you have McDavid and Draisaitl, you're good. But man, you got to put some good players around them. And I remember seeing that little video that everyone was laughing about on Twitter from like their trade deadline, where they put out like the behind the scenes front office video, and they were saying like I don't know, I forget exactly the details, but it was something about like Jason Dickinson and Colton Dock when they acquired him, and there was like no reason. They're just like, oh yeah, like he was good before or something like that. Like something ridiculous. Like there didn't seem to be any reasoning
Yeah.
behind why they're bringing guys in. So yeah, uh, again another team that has gonna have a massive off season and huge
Yeah,
decisions to
definitely.
make.
Yeah, it's always the same thing with them. It's the defense that just doesn't get it done in the playoffs, and
And
obviously the
goaltending.
defense. Exactly, the goaltending. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we all know about the goaltending. That's the biggest story there. And talking about player exit interviews, I mean, if you want, I mean, interesting to watch. McDavid and Draisaitl were pretty. They had pretty interesting postseason interviews.
Yeah.
Now one series we both got right, just like the Avs one, Las Vegas and Utah. I honestly thought at one point we were going to get this wrong. I honestly thought Utah was going to win that series at one point, but then Vegas got it done. I mean, it was probably like Vegas probably won that series because of their just because of how many times they've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Utah's a young team, but Utah did look good. I think give 1 or 2 years, I think I could definitely see Utah being in like a conference final. I really wanted Utah to win that too, because then that would have meant Utah versus Anaheim, and that series would have just been insane to watch.
Yeah. I think Vegas just like Torts back there behind the bench, just getting the boys through the first round. The Utah, like credit to them, they played hard. Dylan Gunther showed the world that he's a serious player. He's
Yeah,
nasty. But yeah, I think like you said, Vegas is just their experience and the way that team is built on like
And their
physicality and
depth.
defense, and yeah, it's just a little bit. It was a little bit too much for Utah in the end.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I remember watching the games, and it seemed like whenever Utah scored, it'd be like their top six players. And also, when you like looking at Utah, when you trade Josh Doan and Kesselring for JJ Paterka, and JJ Paterka got benched in I think it was game four. I didn't know game five. Game five went to overtime. Yeah, he got benched in game five. That's not a great look. That's tough
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
tough. Yeah,
Now going on to the East, Ottawa. We'll just get the hardest one out of the way with Ottawa, Carolina. Both chose Ottawa, and obviously Carolina swept that
yeah,
series.
yeah. We've already talked all we need to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll move on faster than that. Now, probably the best series out of
Yeah,
all the series. Actually, we'll end with that one because that one's not even done yet. So I'm gonna sidetrack. Actually, we'll do Buffalo Boston next. This is the other one we disagreed on, and you actually got this one. So you picked Buffalo. I
yeah.
picked Boston. I honestly thought Jeremy Swayman was gonna win, seal the series, and I even after Game 2 I was confident. But then for some reason Boston just couldn't play on home ice. They go 0 for 3 on home ice, which is the complete opposite thing of them all year. Like I remember late in the year when we needed them to lose, I was like, okay, they have a lot of road games coming up, and they like were not good on the road whatsoever. But then completely opposite this series.
Yeah, I think Buffalo was there for the taking, honestly. Um, and that's why I wanted them. I think if we go back to, well, conversations we had before we started this podcast, I was dead set on wanting Buffalo in round one. Um, but unfortunately, we did not get that. But I think we would have fared better against them. Just watching them, they're a good team. They got some high end players. But I think Boston had an opportunity to kind of take it to them, and they just let it slip. I think Boston, like all year,
Definitely.
I was like, how did they get here? And yeah, I actually got a bit exposed there in the playoffs, and Pasternak had some interesting comments after that one too.
Yeah, another guy who's kind of aging and Biden wants to win. Well, not probably, definitely wants to win right now before it gets too late.
Yeah,
And then the other series, the last series that is done that we haven't talked about, Philly and Pittsburgh, both wrong on it, and I would say we were also. It did go to Game 6, but I would say we were way off. I don't think we either of us saw Philly winning this in 6 games.
yeah, no, I didn't. I guess I didn't account for the Porter Martone factor.
Oh, he's
I,
disgusting.
yeah, he's great, and the Rick Tocchet put you to sleep hockey, which is absolutely no fun to watch, but
Yeah,
they got it
just
done.
seemed like
So
it just seemed like Pittsburgh kind of the last couple weeks of the season kind of just walking into the playoffs, and they weren't ready. Like Philly was playing playoff just like the Sens. They were playing playoff hockey for the final 2 months of the season, and they rode that straight into the playoffs.
yeah,
Pittsburgh wasn't ready, unlike Carolina. Carolina was 100% ready for the playoffs. So especially if you're a Pittsburgh fan, like you don't know how many more times you're going to see Crosby in the playoffs, and when you do, you go down 3-0. So that was
yeah,
tough for them.
yeah,
Now the only series that and it's actually about to start. The game's about to start in 10, 20 minutes, give or take. Tampa, Montreal. We both went Tampa, so technically we're not wrong yet.
yeah,
But if I have to be honest, I'm not feeling too good. I hate to say it. I really want Tampa to win. Montreal has looked like the better team to me all series. Vasi did look really good in Game 6. I think he was the reason they won Game 6. But at the same time, Dobesh is playing really good too. So if I had to switch, I think I would go Montreal in 7. I think they get it done, but I'm still rooting for Tampa Bay.
yeah. Oh, big time. I could not like. I'm after Ottawa. I was rooting for Tampa second most in this playoff series. Like I need Montreal
Yeah.
to lose. I think Tampa will get it done. Like Game 7 is a different beast. Now that I say that, Montreal's definitely winning. But I think Tampa will get it done. They've been there. They've done that. They got the goalie. Like I think they have the better goalie overall. And he's been there in Game Sevens and he's won them games. I know Tampa's not been super great at home in this
Yeah.
series, so that's a factor that we have to look at.
Actually, I have a funny thing about that. So I saw on social media, I think it might have been Pierre LeBrun. The Tampa Bay Lightning stayed at a hotel last night a couple minutes away from the arena to kind of replicate it being an away game.
Hmm. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
interesting.
hey, do what you gotta do at this point, right?
Exactly. If you like I said, I think if I had to switch my prediction, I'd go Habs tonight. Would you like? Are you still sticking with Tampa? Or are you following me?
I mean, I predicted Tampa in 7, and I mean, my predictions have not been great, so maybe I do wish I predicted Montreal because I've been wrong on basically everything. So I would have been wrong and Tampa would win. But no, I think it's a coin flip at this point. Like these two teams have battled hard, but I don't know. We will see. I think I got Tampa. I think Tampa will do it.
Tampa.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I mean they definitely have the veteran presence, so they have a little bit more experience, so they should get it done. But I mean, almost everything. I think every single game except for one. No, I think yeah, every single game's been one goal. Yeah, because yeah, right now both teams are even, just like the Raptors and Cavs, which is even more crazy because that's NBA. Exact
yeah.
amount of points in six total games. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a one goal game. It's gonna be fun to watch. So we'll quickly do round two predictions, so we can go watch that game. Start with just like we did here. Start with the West, Colorado, Minnesota. What do you got?
Oh man, that's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be a great
Yeah.
series. But I think I picked Colorado to go all the way, so I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think honestly, I'm gonna be cheering for Minnesota. There's a lot of guys on that team I like a lot, but I think prediction wise, if I had to put money on it, I think I would go Colorado in six.
Yeah, I like that.
Now we got the other West series, Vegas and Anaheim. What do you got in that?
Whew. Young, fast against veteran team, man. Like just complete
Yeah, veteran and
opposites.
experience versus young fast.
Two super veteran, experienced coaches too. Like some of the best coaches of the last 20 years.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be a great series, I think. That one's difficult. I'm gonna go Vegas in 7.
I like that. I was thinking about that. The thing is though, I don't like taking the away team in seven. I do think Ducks are gonna win though. Is it Ducks in six? Do you think the Ducks are gonna have to tighten up a little bit more on their defense if they want to win this series? But I think I'm gonna go. Weren't I'm gonna go Ducks in six. I'm gonna go both these series end in 6 games.
Well, Vegas would be at home in Game 7, so they would be the home team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, Ducks in
Okay.
six. They're gonna win the series at home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the other East series that already got started, which I don't really think our predictions would be any different if we made a prediction before this series started, but it's already 1-0 Carolina. So, what do you think in this series?
4-zip Carolina. After what I saw yesterday, Philly's a worse
Yeah,
team than us, so like I don't think they're gonna be
exactly.
much of a resistance for Carolina.
I agree. I think Carolina. I'm gonna give Phillies Phillies Flyers one game because I don't see Carolina starting the playoffs 8-0. I just saw today that they're the first team to start 5-0. So no, maybe that's wrong. I think I have that stat wrong, but something like that. So I think I'm gonna give Philly one game, especially that home crowd. I give all the fans orange T-shirts. So I'm gonna go Canes in five. Now the final series isn't finalized, but we can kind of do both. Either Buffalo, Montreal, Buffalo, Tampa. We'll start with Buffalo, Montreal. Who do you think would win a Buffalo Montreal series?
So I can make it even quicker. I think whichever team comes out of this series will win against Buffalo.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Do I think the same? I think. Hmm,
Like I don't know. These teams have shown me that they're good. They're ready to compete. Um,
yeah,
Buffalo looked like I said they looked a little bit like shaky. Maybe they got the nerves out and they're gonna be good to
yeah,
go. I think Buffalo is the better team out of these three teams, but from what I've seen from Montreal and Tampa, like there is no backing down. And I didn't find Buffalo had to deal with a ton of like physicality or like adversity against Boston. Like there was a little bit of like
yeah,
some rough stuff and some dirty stuff, but not a ton compared to Montreal and Tampa where they're trying to kill each other every night.
yeah. I think just for some discussion, and I think it's my honest thing too. I think we'll go opposite of you. I think I'm going to go whoever plays Buffalo, Buffalo's going to win. I just think their forward depth is just insanely
Yeah,
good.
it
Like, they
is.
had lots of guys scoring, and their power play was just like the Sens. At one point in this series, Buffalo had 34 straight power plays, and it does go back in the regular season, but 34 straight power plays they didn't score on. They have a really good power play. So even if their power play wakes up a little bit, that's only going to help them even more. And I also really like that Alex Lyon is starting now. I think he was the better goalie going in, but you kind of had to go Ukko-Pekka in if you're the Sabres, which is what happened. But now that Lyon is the starting guy, I think that's going to help them a lot. So for the sake of it, I think I'm going to go. And also, I think it's my honest opinion. I think Buffalo wins no matter who they play, and they also have home ice too, so that's going to
Yeah.
be huge. Well, I mean, that's all we had planned for today. Is anything else you want to mention before we head off here?
No, that's gonna be it.
That's great. Well, I'm just gonna say, go Tampa Bay and go with Toronto Raptors. Hopefully, we get two big wins tonight. And thanks for listening. Again, we'll come out with another episode next Sunday. Don't know exactly what it's going to be about. Maybe just kind of deeper in off-season predictions, a little bit more of NHL playoffs. That's what's on right now. That's what a lot of people are paying attention to and listening to. So, again, thanks for listening, and I hope you guys have a good night.